Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Ed Hooper. I'm a Florida Senator for District 16, which is North Pinellas and Southwest Pasco County, and I'm honored to be part of this really important ceremony this morning. For those of you that are not here in person, this ceremony is being live streamed, and those of you watching that way, we welcome you also. If you are watching, please know that everyone sitting here is socially distanced, and I think I'm the only one right now without a mask on, and that will change as we speak with each other. The Florida Constitution, Chapter 112, speaks of constitutional officers, and it lists those that are defined in our Constitution. And the most important part of that, it lists the governor, lieutenant governor, the Florida cabinet, and then it lists those in the county elected position that are constitutional officers. And that's primarily the reason we're here this morning. And what's important in Florida, unlike other states, you elect our constitutional officers. They are not political appointees. They are elected by their constituents. They do run on a partisan basis, but they are elected by you, and they serve you, and they do so in a manner, I know, in Pinellas County at an extraordinarily good level, as evidenced by our recent elections and the way we conduct our business. And we are blessed to have some of the finest constitutional officers in the state. So let's begin. We're going to start with an invocation, which is more than appropriate in the now the 5th day of 2021. And I'm going to introduce the chairman of the County Commission, Commissioner Dave Eggers, to come up. And Dave has served us for 6 years. He's now 3 days into his term as chairman. My condolences, sir. And a good friend, and it's going to be a great year at the County Commission. Commissioner Eggers.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody, and it is a beautiful morning. I'm truly honored to be here to celebrate the beginning of this new term of these special public servants, Ken Burke, Mike Twitty, Julie Marcus. It is so fitting that we're here in this facility. I think it's just so incredible for this auspicious occasion. As you know, this past weekend we lost a dear friend and public servant, Bernie McCabe. He was truly an amazing attorney, but state attorney who connected with people. And therefore, I think it's even more fitting that we're here this morning in these chambers. So before we go in prayer, let's reflect on the enormity of the day, life and happiness, and death, as we remember our friend Bernie McCabe. Please join me first in a moment of silence. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you on this special occasion with a simple thank you for this day and for all the many blessings that you have bestowed on each of us. We ask that you continue to provide us with good health and a spirit of public service that is so needed during these difficult times. Be with the families around this country and certainly in this state and in Pinellas counties as we struggle with loss of family, jobs, and in some cases, our dignities. This morning, we ask for your comfort for the McCabe family as they struggle with a life cut too short. Please be with Denise and the family as they come to grips with the loss of their husband, father, family member. Bernie was a true community leader, a pillar in the judicial system of Pinellas and Pasco County, a family friend and a family man and a dear friend. I ask that you place your loving arms around the family and friends as we search for peace during this difficult time. This morning, we also want to thank you for Ken Burke, Mike Twitty, Julie Marcus, 3 public servants that personify the spirit of giving. As they serve the residents of Pinellas County, they do so with respect, with professionalism, and with a deep sense of purpose through public service. Please be with them as they begin a new term of service today. As importantly, we thank you for the employees of these constitutional offices that have worked diligently and with strong ethics, and we pray for continued strength as they stand ready to provide that service each day going forward. Bless them with good health and with the spirit of service. Finally, I want to thank you for the families that surround these three public servants. Their undying support and belief got them through another election and another term of service. These public servants will continue needing their families' support and love. I pray that we never take that support for granted. All public servants know that we couldn't do our jobs without them. Again, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for these three really good people, and guide them as they continue to do their work in a way that is pleasing to their constituents, their employees, their families, and most importantly, pleasing to you. We ask all of these requests in your most holy name. Amen.
Please remain standing. We're going to do a pledge of allegiance. Remain standing. We're going to pledge allegiance to the flag, and then we're going to have a recitation of the national anthem. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are honored this morning to be joined by Ms. Wanda Humbert of the Clerk's office. Wanda, would you please honor us with a rendition of the national anthem?
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight light gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reckless, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors, that star-spangled banner yet waves for the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
Wow, we're awake now. Wanda, that was beautiful. Thank you. Don't we all wish we could do that? Let me tell you about Wanda. Wanda has been an employee of the county for 33 years. And not only does she bless us with her beautiful voice, she sings in her church, and so they are blessed as well as we are. Thank you again. The last 10 years of her employment have been under the help of Ken Burke, our clerk, and she works in the clerk's office. So, Wanda, thank you. I feel more American now than I did 5 minutes ago. We are blessed this morning to have some special guests joining us for this ceremony, and I'm going to introduce them, each one. They're sitting, are you the jury this morning? Okay. Joining us is Whit Blanton, the Executive Director of Forward Pinellas. Whit, good morning. Also, Kimberly Crum, the Human Resources Director for the county. Kimberly, good morning. Jeff Roars, the Chief Information Officer, Business Technology Services. Good morning, sir. Paul Valente, the Director of Office of Human Rights and the EEO Officer. Good morning. And my friend for a long time, the County Attorney, Ms. Jewel White. Good morning, Madam. Let us begin with our ceremony. I'm going to call up, first of all, Ken Burke to be sworn in as the Clerk of the Circuit Court. Mr. Burke has served in that office since 2005. Joining Mr. Burke this morning is his wonderful wife, Cecilia, son Patrick Burke, daughter-in-law Ashley Burke, and son Brendan Burke, who will hold the Bible. And administering the oath of office will be Miss Connie Daniels. Mr. Burke and family, please come and be sworn in. Ms. Daniels, you are recognized.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right, Ken, let's do this. If you repeat after me, I, Ken Burke, do solemnly swear
I, Ken Burke, do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller,
the duties of Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, Connie. We have the cleaning crew here, right in the middle. First of all, I want to thank you, Senator Hooper, for being our Master of Ceremonies today and for the exceptional job he does as our state senator. He and his wife, Lee, and there's Lee Hooper over there, wave Lee, they are a team, and they attend so many community events, and they take seriously knowing their district, and their district not only is part of Pinellas, but includes parts of Pasco, and listening to their citizens' concerns and being part of the community and taking that advocacy and representation up to Tallahassee. So thanks for your wonderful service. And he's a retired firefighter too, so a whole lifetime of public service to the people of Pinellas County. So thank you. And that's on behalf of Mike and Julie. All these thanks are on behalf of Mike and Julie and I. I have the job of thanking people who are here in recognition for all you have done to help make this event so nice. I also want to thank our communications staff from the county department. And Dave Eggers, this shows good cooperation, having the communications staff work with the constitutionals. That's always not been the case, but it's the case now. We appreciate that. And I want to thank each of them. First of all, Brian Durr, although he's not here with us today, he's the digital and AV manager. He helped arrange this. Dan Eggleston. Dan is right there. He's the technical director. And the really important part of Dan is that his wife works in the clerk's office. So, Andy over there, he's the video specialist. Andy Rather, appreciate your work. Pete, it's always good to see Pete. He's the master control specialist. Pete waved everyone, so we know you're there. He does so many things for the county. And Ed Griswold, Ed's right over there, the broadcast engineering specialist. As was mentioned by the senator, this is the first time we've live streamed this event. So our employees are getting to see this, and some family members also. These events just don't happen. It takes a committee to put them together, all the little details. And I want to thank, on behalf of Mike and Julie and I again, the committee, and that consists of Karen Lamb, who's right over here, Tim Klosterman, who's right over there, Teresa Del Rio, Emily Nunez, who's watching this, and then Pam Flynn and Dustin Chase, who are helping us out today. Wanda. Now, that's the talent we have in the clerk's office here, you know. Her job, it does not involve singing, and it involves a lot of criminal court records, but Wanda is such a special part of the clerk's office, and she's been willing to share her talents with us in so many ways. And she just has the biggest heart you would ever want in a person, just a beautiful person, and I'm glad to call her a friend. So thank you again, Wanda, for singing the national anthem for us. I do want to thank our Board of County Commission Chairman, Dave Eggers, for not only being here with us today, but for that beautiful and very meaningful invocation. And I want to thank, again, on behalf of Mike and Julie, our fellow appointing authorities. And the appointing authorities are over there, and everyone is represented here today, which we appreciate, with the exception of Barry Burton. He had to meet with the fire chiefs today. You know how that goes. And so we got Dave Eggers, which is even better, so that's good. I also want to thank, personally, Connie Daniels for swearing me in. Connie started in the clerk's office, get this, in 1980. That's 41 years of service in the clerk's office. She started in an entry-level position and has worked her way up to the highest levels of leadership in the clerk's office. Since she is our most senior employee in the clerk's office as far as year of service, not age, she's younger than I am, it was an honor to have you swear me in, Connie, and we appreciate your 41 years of service. I know you have a couple more, and then she's going to be on her cruise circuit, but we appreciate you swearing me in and for your 41 years of service to the people of Pinellas County. Now, Connie represents the clerk's office so well, and so does Wanda. But let me tell you, we have over 500 employees who are so dedicated to their work. And as clerk, my whole success is not mine. It's totally dependent upon the 500 faithful people who make up the clerk's office. And their tremendous hard work. We have a judge here, he knows what I'm talking about. The process that involves so many things. He's involved with so many landlord-tenant matters and so forth, and the work that the clerk's office does in that regard. But the area of expertise that these 500 employees have is so impressive, and their dedication. We handle such a variety of things in the clerk's office. The Florida statutes, which this man gets to pass, includes 1,000 references somewhere in those statutes and all those volumes of statutes that say the clerk shall do this, the clerk shall do that. They say all that, but they never say the legislature should give them any money to do any of those things. I have to take a little shot there, you know, Senator. But the reason we're able to do all these things is because of the expertise of our staff and the knowledge base that they have and the pride that they take in their work. Our staff, and you may not know this, we have clerks working 365 days a year. This past Christmas, when you were opening up your Christmas presents on Christmas morning, there was clerk staff over at 49th Street at the criminal complex hearing first appearances. Would you think the clerk's office is only here from 8 to 5? No. We have employees who get here at 4 o'clock in the morning to open up those dependency files, which have to go to the judiciary by 7:30. By 8 o'clock, the judges are hearing those cases. We have folks here over in downtown Clearwater who'll be here till 11 o'clock tonight, working to docket the files which come in today to make sure they're entered into the system. We have our good folks in finance. I see some of them around here who handle the most important thing in Pinellas County government. They pay the Pinellas County government employees under the Board of County Commission and the clerk's office. They also are responsible for all the paying of the bills and putting together our financial statements. Mr. Eggers certainly knows the importance of our board records departments because they take minutes not only the Board of County Commission but 17 other different boards. And they're the ones, when a county passes an ordinance, is responsible for sending that ordinance up to Tallahassee in a timely manner so that it's effective. The clerk's office handles so many variety of tasks, whether in the criminal arena, the probate arena, the civil arena, as far as in our court responsibilities. And a lot of these impact people's lives. Domestic violence injunctions, unfortunately 4,000 injunctions a year. And when they come in, they need the caring face of the clerk's office to help them through the process. We can't give them legal advice, but we certainly can be compassionate to their cause and to help them through the process and understand how the process works. It takes special people to do that. We also deal with things which aren't very pleasant, like foreclosures and tenant evictions and risk protection orders and all these types of things that our clerk's office, again, making sure that the people are treated fairly, that they have access to the information that they need, and our people take this so seriously. So I pay tribute. We have our Inspector General up there who takes care of making sure that Pinellas County's good government remains good government and issues reports in conjunction with the Board of County Commission that accepts them so beautifully in that relationship. I point out all these things because it's a tribute to the men and women who work in the clerk's office, in the files, in the mailroom, in the printing services, all across the board in our recording department where we issue marriage licenses and conduct 4,000 wedding ceremonies a year in the clerk's office. It's truly unbelievable that, you know, people think it's romantic to go to the traffic court and get married, and as they pass the traffic court say, oh, isn't that where we got married? What wonderful memories there. But that happens, and all these things are performed by the dedicated people who make up the clerk's office, and I can't thank them enough for the work that they do, unsung work that they do day in and day out to serve the people of Pinellas County in the best possible way. So my greatest gratitude, again, to the clerk's office staff. Continue, please, to work hard. I need you every day. I do want to point out a special person, too. When I got elected clerk in 2004, I inherited the staff in the immediate administrative office. I didn't bring in anyone from the outside. The folks who were right there at the office there supporting Mrs. DeBlaker, my predecessor, supported me. And they adopted me and accepted me, which is a big cultural change after dealing with another person for a lot of years. And I want to pay tribute to Karen Lamb and thank her for her outstanding service as our manager of our administrative office. This will be her last term with me because she's in drop and will be retiring in a couple years. But I want to publicly thank you, Karen, for accepting me over all these years, supporting me, and making sure all these things that we do work out so well, and for your great work in the clerk's office. I also, of course, and Commissioner Eggers, Chairman Eggers, alluded to this in his invocation of how important our family is to the work that we do. And you want to recognize my wife, Cecilia, again, and Brendan, and Ashley, and Patrick. I also have to say that my daughter and son-in-law up in Washington, D.C. are watching this broadcast, Catherine and Alex, and I want to say thank you to them. But the most important part of our family I want to thank, and that's our new granddaughter, Anastasia, who is the absolute love of our lives, who we can't get enough videos every day and pictures of sent to by our daughter. And she played hooky from daycare today to be home to watch this too, even though she's just 6 months old. You know, so anyway, family, I love y'all, and thank you so much for your constant support. I'm very proud of my family. They all have very good hearts, and all are just very good people. And it's very easy to be part of this family and their dad. 4 years ago, this event was also held in this beautiful courthouse. And Deborah Clark, you were up here being installed once again. And we had a filled room. We also had a wonderful master of ceremonies at that time, too. It was our state attorney, Bernie McCabe. Mike, Julie, and I wanted to ensure Bernie is very much a part of this ceremony today. As you know, this past Friday was a sad day for Pinellas County and the 6th Judicial Circuit in the passing of our dear friend, Bernie McCabe. It is hard to put into words the impact Bernie had on our community in so many different ways. He was more than just the state attorney. Although it's hard to think of the state attorney's office without thinking of Mr. McCabe. He had nearly a half-century worth of work in that office, 50 years worth of work in the state attorney's office, starting off as an assistant state attorney and being promoted to different roles of leadership before being elected to the main office in 1992. With Bernie, what you saw is what you got. He was straightforward in his comments. He was often the voice of reason and pragmatism in the room. And I mean pragmatism in a good way. He had the ability to hone in the right answers and the best solutions to a problem or matter. You know that when he was chairman of the BTS board. Of course, I always think it's funny that, and my wife used to make fun of me, we had Bernie and me, as he was chair and I was vice chair of the BTS board, the two least technical people in the entire county. I guess they figured if they could explain it to us and get us to understand it, then everyone would. And although I said with Bernie, what you saw is what you got, this was not usually the true tough guy image that usually the state attorney has. Because Bernie was open and at times an advocate to alternative ways of making the system better. He and Bob Dillinger got the law changed to include the state attorney and public defender as members of the Juvenile Welfare Board. And the reason they did this was because they knew that having a positive impact on young people and children will avoid them being involved in a life of crime later. And they were truly dedicated to that. They didn't do that out of ego. They did that because they wanted to make Pinellas County a better place. And they devoted a lot of time to the Juvenile Welfare Board. My wife served with them when she was on this Juvenile Welfare Board. Bernie was also open to alternative plans in approaching low-level crimes for both juveniles and adults. And I can't tell you how important this was to have his support, because it's usually not the role of the state attorney to, their role is, as the judge will tell you, our court system is a confrontational. The state attorney is supposed to be the tough guy, crime and punishment, and the public defender or the private defense attorney is supposed to represent the other side. But Bernie would be open to seeing alternative ways of doing things. And without his support, we wouldn't have a diversion program in the areas of juvenile and adult, and we have the best programs in the state. And these are not usual areas where the state attorney gets involved. But he lent his importance and needed support to the establishment of both of these programs. And I'm not trying to be arrogant, but we do have the best programs in the state. As a matter of fact, the state legislature has modeled their program on what we're doing here in Pinellas County. Bernie also served as a mentor to numerous young attorneys. Were you part of the state attorney's office? Oh, one of the few. How'd you escape? Facebook is filled with tributes to Bernie from attorneys who worked in the office, many who went on to private practice and to establish their own practices, but they attribute much of their success to Mr. McCabe. Our current Speaker of the House, Chris Sprouse, often cites Bernie as his mentor and his driving force behind his success in public office. And again, as the judge knows, the number of judges who came from the state attorney's office with Bernie's support are too numerous to count. Bernie has contributed so significantly in so many ways. I can go on and on. But each of you probably have your special memory of Bernie and can recite a Bernie story. Bernie also had a great love of his wife, Denise, and children, Jennifer and Patrick. As was mentioned with Dave, I'll implore you to, please keep them in your prayers. They need your support during this most difficult time. May God welcome Bernie into heaven with open arms, and may God bless and hold his family in the palm of his hand. Bernie, thanks for being part of our lives. We love you.
Clerk of the Court, Kim Burke, thank you very much for being sworn in and continuing to serve all of us. Thank you for your remarks about Bernie McCabe. The one incredible thing that I recall about Bernie McCabe is he was probably the most gifted storyteller that I can recall. I mean, that man, he could entertain you for hours and you would never know you were being held up for that length of time, but he was gifted. Ken, we expect no less than what you have given since 2005, and we know that will be absolutely enough. So thank you for continuing to serve all of us, and congratulations to you. We're next going to go to our Pinellas County Property Appraiser swearing in. I'm going to call up Mike Twitty. Mike was elected in November of 2016 and recently re-elected with 60% of the vote. He's joined today by his wife, Michelle Twitty, who will hold the Bible. I see Zachary Twitty is here. I don't think, is Sam here? Nope. His other son, Sam, is not here, but hopefully he's watching. So if you would please come forward, Mike and family, and to administer the oath of office is the Chairman of the County Commission, Dave Eggers. Commissioner, thank you again for being here. And please administer the oath to Mike Twitty.
Good morning, family. Good to have you here. Mike, are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Mike Twitty, do solemnly swear
I, Mike Twitty, do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of property appraiser
the duties of property appraiser,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Senator, for your wonderful job as an MC. I was pleased to hear that you were willing to sacrifice your time to be here with us today. And obviously, we always love to see Lee as well. And thank you to the appointing authorities. I'm not going to go through all the thank yous because Ken did a great job. I could never compete with that. But the one that I can thank that he cannot thank is Ken Burke himself. I would like to thank him for pulling this ceremony together once again. It meant the world to my family and I when you pulled this together back in 2017 when I was sworn in for the first time. And it means the same this time. So thank you for that. Also like to thank David, our county chair this time around, and thank you for being here with us and being willing to swear me in. I'd like to thank my family, Michelle and Zachary, for being here with us today. That's 2/3 of my household. Our son Sam couldn't be here with us this morning, unfortunately. But like the musician Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So I'll take what I can get. But I love you guys. I couldn't do this without you. Going through political cycles and having to deal with this each time around is always eventful and sometimes traumatic, and I appreciate your love and support. We have family and friends watching out there as well, and also send love and thank yous to them for their continued strong support. Our friend Bernie, I want to say a couple of words about Bernie in remembrance. I didn't have the opportunity to work with him as long as many in this room and many of you out there. But the memories I do have working with him, I'm fortunate to be able to call him not only a colleague but a friend. I spent time with him, not only working side by side with him, whether it was the BTS board or various other boards and speaking engagements, different things that we participated in. And he always, I always welcomed his presence in the room. He, as Ken had pointed out, he was always, brought the words of wisdom. He was extremely witty, but he was very humble. He took matters serious when they needed to be serious, but he never took himself too serious. And those are all great character traits to admire. I hope we can all carry some of that with us as we remember Bernie going forward. His iconic service within our district here is, will never be forgotten, and the impression he made on so many lives throughout our community. Our prayers are obviously with his wonderful wife, Denise, and the entire McCabe family. Rest peacefully, my friend. And that leads into, as the constitutional officers, and Bernie McCabe is a shining example of this, our citizen watchdogs. All of our constitutional officers exhibit a passion and tireless commitment to service and stewardship while navigating through an always changing landscape. And we couldn't have a better role model than Bernie. In an election year like no other, I'm extremely grateful that Pinellas voters were able to cut through the noise at the national level and see the value that they hold in their constitutional officers. I'm especially thankful to the voters for their confidence in my abilities and leadership and entrusting me with the continued leadership of the Property Appraiser's Office. To have the trust of the public in the county where you were born and raised, it means a great deal to me. I will never forget that and will always cherish it. Honored to fulfill the duties of my elected office and serve the people of Pinellas now and for as long as they'll have me. As most of you know, the duties of the property appraiser include certifying the value of over 450,000 parcels of real estate and tangible personal property every year, administering homestead and various other exemptions, maintaining property ownership records and parcel maps for tax purposes. We obviously work very closely with a lot of the other appointing authorities. We provide data essentially throughout the county to not only private businesses and citizens, but also the governmental entities. So that is heavily relied upon, but these functions could not be performed without an amazing staff that I have. Many of our leadership crew is sitting in the room with us today. Pleased to have them. I'd like to give them a round of applause for all the hard work they do. And that goes for the staff also that are out there watching online with us today. So maintaining all this data, it's a never-ending cycle. It's a lot different than when I was in the private sector. You were serving one citizen at a time, and it was one job at a time, and now it's a tax roll at a time, and it's a calendar year. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, but I think I've got the hang of it now, and thankfully to this crew, I think we are able to do that very well and very proficiently. We continue to try and move the ball forward within our office. I try to challenge our crew, they challenge me, and I think it makes for a really great working dynamic within our office. We've got a lot of moving parts that people aren't aware of that it takes to get the job done within the property appraiser's office. And the one thing we do not do is we do not send out tax bills. Just so you know, because I always get accused of that. And people always say, "Oh yeah, I remember your name. You're the one I write that check out to all the time." And I said, no, that's not me. I said, you can only write a check to me during campaign season. So, but I want to point out that, the things that we are able to accomplish in our office, especially with the many challenges that we faced in 2020, that's a testament to the professionalism and commitment to public service exhibited by all the staff members in our office. Whether we're working on issues like COVID-19 impacts, we're getting ready to roll out a brand new website that we believe will be the best in the state, if not the entire country, that will provide unprecedented access and transparency of data to our citizens that rely on that site every day. or working on items up at with the state legislature to try and get a constitutional amendment passed, like 3-year portability, which we thankfully successfully got across the goal line this year. And there's more to come, other exciting things, because Pinellas County is a very unique county. It's not like any other in the state. We're the densest in the state by more than double the density of the next closest. So it creates different types of challenges, and Pinellas continues to be a leader, and I think will continue to be so into the future because of those types of challenges that hit our county before they hit a lot of others. So that requires us to have a lot of foresight, a lot of ingenuity in our thinking of how we're going to address things going forward. Well, with that said, I'm excited to continue to work alongside my staff going forward. I'm, again, very blessed to be given this opportunity to continue to lead the office. I'd like to welcome Julie Marcus to the fold with the constitutional officers after making it through her first election. How was it, Julie? It was exciting, wasn't it? You had double the fun, I know. But I'm excited to continue our work here, work with our various appointing authorities and our constitutional to make the quality of life here continue to be what it is or better. We always want to try and raise the bar, and I appreciate the congeniality we all have. We all work really well together, and I'm here to work with everyone, for everyone. So I hope that you all will work with me. And I'd like to bless you all, and here's to a safer, brighter year full of great accomplishments. Thank you.
Mike, congratulations. And let me tell you that he talked about the fair treatment of your portability for your homestead exemption. That's the one man in this state that made that possible by his hard work in Tallahassee, explaining it in language that everyone could understand. So you owe Mike Twitty a big thank you for your portability being treated as it was intended when you first approved that. So thank you, Mike. And one thing he didn't mention, I know how hard his office, his staff works on the updated flood maps in this county. It's surrounded by water, so if you're in the flood zone, you blame him. If you're out of the flood zone, we thank you. Thank you, Mike, and we wish you nothing but success as you go forward, and I know you will do fine. Okay, you succeeded in screwing up all my papers, so I'll get squared away. We are pleased when I find my script. Mike, did you take my script? Are you sure? Thank you. He mentioned our supervisor of elections, and that's Julie Marcus. And Julie is our supervisor of elections, recently elected by the citizens. But she has pretty tough shoes to fill. She was blessed to work with the premier supervisor of elections in the state of Florida, Miss Deborah Clerk, who is with us today and will be part of the swearing-in ceremony. So Deborah, first of all, we're going to thank you for your years and years of incredible election results. You trained Julie well. Every county in the state of Florida would be blessed to have this supervisor's office and staff conduct their elections. We are truly blessed, and thank you for having, in a crazy year, an election that was impeccable. We appreciate it. So Julie, I'm going to ask that you come forward, and I'm going to introduce Judge John Carassis, who will administer the oath. And Deborah Clerk is going to be with Julie as she takes the oath of office. Your Honor, please administer the oath, and Madam Supervisor, and Madam Supervisor retired.
Very happily, thank you.
Thank you, Senator. In addition to swearing in Julie, which is my honor today, I'm also chairman of the canvassing board, and I've worked directly with Deb, Julie, and a lot of the other folks here. So thank you for all that you do for us. And Deborah, bless your heart for being here. Thank you.
Bless you.
Julie, are you ready?
I get that.
All right, let's begin. I, Julie Kelsey Marcus, do solemnly swear
I, Julie Kelsey Marcus, do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of Supervisor of Elections,
the duties of Supervisor of Elections,
of which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Wow. Thank you, Deborah. As Judge John Carras has stated, he is our county canvassing board chairman, and he has worked on as the chair for as long as I can remember. And you want to talk about a commitment. So this is obviously a volunteer position. He is appointed by the chief judge, but he chooses to do this as a service to our community. And we are forever grateful for the leadership that you provide on the canvassing board, not just this past year, but for the many years preceding that. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you. I do have folks here that work with the elections office. We are a small little group, but we are strong and mighty. As I've always told Deb, you brought us up right. And we're 44 folks who run our elections. I do not need to go beyond that. I think you all know what we do. And I could say this, Florida runs darn good elections. It is a true privilege to have been elected the 14th person to hold the office of Supervisor of Elections for Pinellas County, a responsibility that is certainly not lost on me. It goes without saying that my journey to this point was not taken alone, and I would like to take a moment to recognize those who have influenced my life. First, to my mom and dad, who both are in North Georgia, freezing their heinies off, and my sister who lives in Arizona, who probably at this time in the morning is too. My family means a lot to me. Each of them has had a tremendous impact in my life and has had an impact on why I do what I do. My dad is a 20-year retired U.S. Army veteran, my sister a U.S. Air Force veteran, and my mom, an immigrant from Germany, who gave up her citizenship because of her love for this country, became a U.S. citizen in 2002. Love and service for our country. That meant something when I grew up and drove me to decide what I wanted to study and ultimately what I wanted to do. 18 years ago, almost to the day, Deb, 18 years ago, I was given an opportunity, which to this gal is a really big deal. I started to work for Deborah Clerk, the Supervisor of Elections. Deb, thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for being my mentor. Thank you for ensuring that before we made any decision, we asked ourselves, is this what is best for our voters? I am truly blessed to have had people in my life who pushed me, who were positive influences, who gave me opportunities. And for that, I will be forever grateful. Always know that as your supervisor of elections, we will always ask, is this what is best for our voters? From the bottom of my heart, thank you to the voters of Pinellas County and to you all. Thank you.
Even when she calls you during campaign season to tell you what you're doing wrong, she does it so nicely, you can't be mad at her. Julie Marcus, Ken Burke, Mike Twitty, congratulations. Our county is in a wonderful position. We are served well. Our county commission and the new leadership, we expect great things, starting with you have a mess to clean up with you know what, so it'll get fixed, folks. Let me start the close by thanking, first of all, those of you that are here and those of you that are watching this live stream. Wouldn't be possible without the Marketing Communications Department, the Real Estate Management Department, and even the Sheriff's Office for providing the bailiffs for this courtroom. This has been...
Interrupt you because I forgot to thank the bailiffs individually, and I would like to do that.
You are recognized, sir.
And, you know, these folks carry guns, so it's important, you know, that we stay friends with them. And also, they work so closely with the clerk's office and all of us to help keep us safe and secure and do many other things. They're led by Corporal Virginia Miller. Thank you, Corporal. And she has her team here, and they were the ones downstairs, Bailiff Ron Chalmers, and Bailiff Renardo Burgess. So thanks to our three bailiffs. Let's give them a round of applause.
Again, it's been an honor to be part of this ceremony. I'm proud to be a Pinellas County resident. I expect great things, and 2021 is going to be an amazing year after what we've all been through. If there's nothing else for the good of the order, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.